Hello everybody, this is Astocky here and welcome to a quick update video, my Let's Play of the Astocky Pack for Minecraft 1.4.7. I have had a bit of a recording boo-boo and it turns out that I have messed up some rather important things, and it means I'm now doing an update video rather than a full episode because yeah, I don't want to do another half-hour episode just to show you guys what I have already done, but basically I went and I collected a whole lot of track from the mine shafts that were around where my bore is going, and I also found a bunch of wooden rail beds, some wooden ties, a crowbar that I have on me. I think I've shown you the recipe for that before, but it's 4 rose red and 3 iron gives you a crowbar, and that allows you to work with trains, and also it allows you to right click to adjust the orientation of the machines, like the engines for railcraft. I also found 2 TNT carts that I don't really have much of a use for, and I found a block of steel and a bunch of other steel ingots as well. So what I did with those steel ingots is I came over to here and I fired this beautiful machine up and I made some standard rails. Now the way the standard rails work is you get 8 standard rails if you use iron. If you use bronze you get 6. If you use steel you get 16. So by using my little machine that I have out here, my little blast furnace, to basically cook up steel like I have been doing, you basically get twice as much rail per iron ingot that you use, and I'm all about efficiency. So I made a whole lot of that and then I used those rails, and you can see down here I ran a little track that did a little loop at the back of my house and then comes back along, and I tunneled out a little area down there for it to go into. So that's basically my little rail track that I made. And you might say, well, why did you make a little rail track for? Very good question. In fact, such a good question, I'm going to get what I need and then I'm going to show you guys. Going to need some water, but not that block. I'm going to need that block. Going to need probably 2 pieces of coal coke, and I'm going to need 6 pieces of wood. Now, I know that wasn't 6 pieces, that was a bit more. That's because I want to make some sticks and make some torches as well. I should always carry torches, and somehow I've got around without having torches on me. Oh, and the other 6 pieces were to make a new door. So yeah, so I didn't do a huge amount this episode, but I did do one other thing that I think personally is really cool. It's not going to be quite as exciting when I see it the second time, but it's going to be cool to show you guys anyway. So here we have a door, and here we have where my train is. So you can see that my train's still got a little bit of steam left in it, but basically we'll throw... oh, it's also out of water. So the temperature's down though, which means it's safe to put water in. If it was hot, it would not be safe to put water in. If it was over 100 degrees and you put water in, it would explode. But what I can do now is basically demonstrate to you guys how this works. So you hop in, you put coal coke or coal in here as your fuel, and it uses a lot of fuel to get up to temperature. So it's not very efficient, but it produces a lot of steam once it does get going and then slows down the usage rate. So I can click running now, and you'll see it's used the first piece and the temperature is rising. Basically these commands, running will keep the engine producing power and moving, idle will keep it burning to keep the temperature up but it won't move, shutdown will basically stop it burning. So we're at 100 now, so we're producing steam, and you can see it's rising really quickly because it's got high pressure boilers, and we're moving. Now we've got... I love that whistle, I'm never going to get sick of that, that is awesome. And we're moving. Now we're moving pretty slow though because we're running out of fuel and the temperature's not very high, but I can crank it up to full and we're going to move much quicker. Now, way quicker, look at that go. And this is going to keep happening until that runs out, and then we will start slowing down as this starts dropping off. So you can see, 2 pieces of coal coke did not last very long in this thing. It is very, very fuel intensive to keep it running, but it is so cool I just had to do it. I'll show you the recipe for how to make this in a second. I'm just hoping this thing doesn't strand me over here. Still got a lot of temperature, but as the temperature drops, it's just like the railcraft engines, that it will produce less power as the temperature drops. So that means we'll start to progressively get slower, and eventually we'll get to the point where it can't get around corners because it can't pull me around. But for now anyway, I'm hoping we can make one more lap back, because we've still got enough temperature and we've still got a full head of steam. And then what I'll do is once we start to get back a bit closer, I'll slow it right down, bring it to slow speed, and then once we get around the corner, we didn't have enough power to jump the track. There we go, shut it down. So I'm going to get out now. So there we go, I should be able to just hop back in next time and let it go. See that we used quite a bit of water, and because the temperature's still up over 100, we were still using water. Now the water usage has stopped, so we used almost a bucket of water then, but that is so epically fun. I just love that thing. So yeah, what I was saying as well is I'm gonna, and that's why I showed the whistle track, is I'm going to do some demonstrations with some of these things and make some whistle tracks, because then whenever the train drives over them, it'll make that whistle noise, and that's really cool. I'm also going to experiment with a bunch of these different kinds of tracks, because I don't know what they are or how they work. I also don't think that this is the best way to do it. Pretty sure Railcraft allows you to... Can I not? No, I think I'm going to need to use a more complicated piece of track here. I think they're called switch tracks. Wouldn't be wire tracks, must be switch tracks that I need to use, but I need to do something a bit more complicated here, and I really want to get this set up so basically if I stand in a certain place, as it comes past it'll just pick me up and put me in the minecart and then keep going. And I also want to do some other things in the next episode to automate it so it moves cargo around and potentially moves some fuel around and things like that. So I want to play around with the liquid and the solid loaders and unloaders and things like that, but that's all stuff for later. Well, it's run out again. Although we've almost caught up this time, which is good. How are we doing up here? Yeah, we're very nearly caught up. So, yeah, that's basically a recap of what I've done this episode. It took me a lot longer to actually do than it's took me to explain it to you guys. The only thing I haven't yet shown you is how to make the locomotive. So the way you make the locomotive is, it's a bit of a complicated recipe. You need 4 high pressure boilers, some iron bars, so you've seen iron bars before. You need 2 mine carts, so I made 3 so I had 1 to sit in, but you need 2 mine carts just for this recipe. Now the high pressure boilers need 2 lots of steel plates. And the way you make steel plates is the rolling machine upstairs, you put 4 steel ingots in, and it gives you 3 of the steel plates. So that's the steel ones, that's the iron ones. So yeah, these are made with 4 pieces of iron, these are made with 4 pieces of steel. And then you also need these solid fuel fireboxes, which are bricks with fire chargers and furnaces. And then you just need a bit of time and a lot of coal to have a lot of fun. So hope you guys have enjoyed this bit of a recap on what I had done. I'm really sorry that I couldn't actually show you guys me doing it, but that's the way with recording sometimes. So thanks very much for watching. Astocky out.